Rolf Whitehouse begins the film, announcing the story of his brother Wade's strange criminal behavior and subsequent disappearance. Wade Whitehouse is a small-town policeman in New Hampshire. On Halloween night, Wade meets his daughter Jill. But he is late and the evening is overshadowed by disharmony. Jill eventually calls her mother, Wade's ex-wife, to come and pick her up. When his ex-wife finally arrives, Wade shoves her lover against their car and watches them drive away with Jill. Wade vows to get a lawyer to help gain custody of his daughter. The next day, Wade rushes to the scene of a crime. Jack Hewitt, a local hunting guide, claims that Evan Twombly, with whom he was hunting, accidentally shot and killed himself. The police believe Jack, but Wade grows suspicious, believing that the man's death was no accident. When he is informed that the victim was scheduled to testify in a lawsuit, his suspicion slowly turns into conviction. A while later, Wade and his girlfriend Margie Fogg arrive at the house of Wade's alcoholic father, Glenn Whitehouse, whose abusive treatment of Wade and Rolf as children is seen in flashbacks throughout the film. Wade finds his mother lying dead in her bed from hypothermia. Glenn reacts to her death with little surprise, and later gets drunk at her wake and gets into a fight with Wade. Rolf, who has come home for the funeral, suggests at first that Wade's murder theory could be correct, but later renounces himself of this presumption. Nonetheless, Wade becomes obsessed with his conviction. When Wade learns that town selectman Gordon LaRiviere is buying up property all over town with the help from a wealthy land developer, he makes the solving of these incidents his personal mission. Suffering from a painful toothache and becoming increasingly socially detached, he behaves more and more unpredictably. He follows Jack, convinced that Jack is running away from something and is involved in a conspiracy. After a car chase, a nervous Jack finally pulls over, threatens Wade with a rifle, shoots out his tires, and drives off. Finally, Wade is fired for harassing Jack and trashing LaRiviere's office. He collects Jill from her mother's house, where his ex-wife furiously castigates him over his plans to sue for full custody. At a local restaurant, he attacks the bartender in front of his daughter. Then Wade takes Jill home to find Margie leaving him. Wade grabs Margie and begs her to stay, but Jill rushes up and tries to stop the fight. In response, Wade angrily pushes Jill, giving her a bloody nose, forcing both her and Margie to drive off. Wade is then approached by Glenn, who congratulates him for finally acting as a real man. The latent aggression between the men culminates in another fight in which Wade hits his father with the butt of a rifle, accidentally killing him. Wade burns the corpse in the barn, sits down at the kitchen table and starts drinking. Rolf's narration reveals that Wade eventually murdered Jack and left town, possibly to Canada, where Jack's truck was found 3 days later, never to return. Rolf relates that the town later became part of a huge ski resort partly organized by Gordon LaRiviere, but having nothing to do with either Jack or Twombly. Rolf concludes that someday a vagrant resembling Wade might be found frozen to death. And that will be the end of the story.